All right. Tough loss tonight. Worst loss of the season for the Knicks. 115-89. If there's anybody out there that wants to talk Knicks, the phone lines are open. 657-383-1509. We will talk you off the ledge. If you are a pissed off Knicks fan, you have a right to be. Knicks get washed. 115-89 against the Magic. I'm here with my guy Alex Wolf. We're going to break it down, get your takeaways, give you our takeaways. We're going to announce a statement game's winners, and we're going to get into it right now.
KnicksFanTV. Y'all watching KnicksFanTV.
All right, bro. Thanks, man.
Oof. Post-game live. CP from the KnicksFanTV. My man Alex Wolf subbing in for Jay Ellis. Happy birthday, Jay Ellis.
Hey, happy birthday. I didn't know it was a birthday.
Yeah. Jay Ellis, he I guess he had other plans. So be it. You know, I guess he had better things to do.
I understand, man.
You know what I mean? We lose by 30 damn near, and he wants to disappear and take the night off. So shout out to Jay Ellis on his birthday. Knicks get stomped out, Al. We bring out the City Edition jerseys. It's Veterans Day. First and foremost, happy Veterans Day to all the vets out there. If we have any watchers that are vets or any vets in your family, definitely salute to you and your family. We appreciate your service, definitely, all the time. Not just today, but every day. You know what I mean? But back to the Knicks. It was Veterans Day celebration, City Edition celebration. Knicks coming off stomping up north in Toronto. I mean, Al, you figure they would come out with just a little bit of effort. But it was quite the opposite tonight, man. What happened tonight, man? There was nothing to see out there tonight.
Yeah, it really seemed like early on, they missed a few shots. They weren't taking like horrible shots to start the game, but it was just like they couldn't find that rhythm, and then it seemed like they got discouraged, start throwing the ball away, trying to push things. It was ugly. It was mostly that first quarter that was the ugliest part.
Yeah.
Because that got them down 20. They wound up losing by whatever, almost 30, more than 30. I don't know, whatever. But it all started in that first quarter, and they went down, 10-0 to start the game. I think the like true apex of that was something like they're down like 19-4 or something like that. It was just terrible.
They hadn't scored until the first 5 minutes of the game. First 5 minutes of the game, they were held scoreless. End up shooting 5 for 28 from three-point land. Only 13 dimes. I believe they only had about 2 dimes by the end of the first half. And, we're kind of starting to see a little trend with this new lineup that Fizdale has put in. Yes, defensively, they are the best defensive unit, but offensively, they're probably one of the poorest. So, obviously, you can't have it both ways. We saw Frank get benched in the second half. What did you think about that?
I don't know, man. It kind of rubbed me the wrong way. It was weird. It seemed like he was getting punished, but he wasn't playing that badly in the first half. At least not in the scope of like everybody played badly. So it feels weird to single him out.
He threw Fournier and shit. That was a nice little block, yeah.
Yeah, he had a nice block. Like that was a solid play. He took a few shots and he missed them.
Yeah.
But they weren't bad shots. One of them was a wide open 3. He just, it was online. I think he put a little too much on it. It seemed weird to me. And granted Burke started playing better.
Yeah.
But it's not like you have to scratch one for the other. Like the weird part about the whole thing is that Fizdale has made a point with Frank, especially from the beginning of the year, not trying to pigeonhole him into just being a point guard. So if you felt like maybe he wasn't running point well today, at least throw him in there as
at a different
nominal
position.
Yeah, put him in as your nominal 2 or your nominal 3 in the second half. Give him a little run that way. It just felt weird to me. Granted, like I said, it's not like he was tearing it up, but it's also not like he was playing any worse than anybody else who was playing badly. So it felt weird to me.
I hear that. I think, you know what? I think Frank could use a little mental night off. I think, there's a reason why the team is off to these sluggish starts offensively. Part of it is, yes, we know his defense is pretty good, but offensively, he's giving you nothing. You know what I'm saying? He's not running the offense. The pace has slowed down considerably since he's been in. I mean, we just call a spade, right? We want to be able to see him at different positions. Obviously, we want to be able to see if he can run the point. But, between him, Moutier's been up and down. Obviously, Trey had those 2 DMPs coming into tonight's game. Now we see Trey into the lineup. Frank is out the lineup. So I think all in all, I think Fizz is going to have a challenge with all these point guards for the whole year. It's not just going to be this game or the last game. So I think Frank could have used just a mental break, man, just to collect his thoughts and try back again Wednesday night.
Yeah, I mean, I could feel that. I mean, I feel like I have enough. It's very, very short into his Knicks, head coaching tenure, but I feel a pretty good trust in Fizdale to make the right calls in these situations already. So I feel like I'm willing to give him, I'm willing to defer to him and his decision. And I think it was, whatever he was doing, I feel like he probably has some sort of idea behind it. Maybe he's trying to just motivate Frank. Maybe he's trying to give him a night off, but I'm sure that he'll explain it to him in a proper way and hopefully get his head straight.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I said, the challenge is gonna be who is gonna give you the most consistent play at the 1, right? Where offensively, we're ranked, near the bottom of the league. Assists, we are dead last in assists. We are, I believe, 20th or so in pace. And Frank is gonna give you that defense. Offensively, he's not there. Moutier, I think of all the guards, probably has the best tools, but can never finish. He's that 95% product with a he just can't finish. He's always falling down. He's always causing an unforced turnover. And then you have Trey, who's your offensive spark, and we saw that today. He came in the third, and he tried his best to get us in the game, but facilitating, he leaves a lot to be desired. So I think that's just gonna be Fizdale's challenge the whole year is, how to really manage this rotation. I don't see it getting any easier.
No, definitely not. It's made particularly difficult when you want to develop certain guys, but they are all young. I mean, Fizdale, I watched a little bit of his post game comments, and he made a comment of like, all 3 of these point guards are young. They're all developing. There's going to be times when you can't play all of them any given night. And I feel that, you know what I mean? I get what he's saying.
Yeah.
And tonight he felt that Moutier and Burke were the guys to go with. I definitely can't argue on the Burke front. Like Burke definitely, one of my positives I took away from this game is that Burke seemed to sort of recapture some of the magic of what made him so good last year.
Yeah.
So that was definitely a welcome sign. And Moutier he played okay. He's been playing pretty good the last few games. So he kind of just stayed status quo. So I can see where he's coming from, I guess, especially on the Burke front.
You think it's time for another lineup change? I mean, he waited the first 5 games and he made his decision. We're now 4-10, I believe. We're 4-10 right now. So we went a little bit over with this next lineup. You think it's time for to see another look? What do you think?
Yeah, why not? I don't really care. They could run through. It's not like we have to be this model of consistency.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It's a development tank. Let's just keep it a buck. It's the development tank.
Yeah, no doubt. Like, I mean, he could realistically change the lineup every 3 games. I wouldn't really care.
Facts.
Just find what works. And the whole thing is just figuring out guys that could work for next year and beyond. We got a lot of rentals on this team, or sort of a lot of like second draft type dudes, that are here on 1-year deals, or guys that are on the last year of their contract, like Moutier and stuff. And,
it's gonna be a lot of transition.
So just figure out, throw a bunch of things at the wall and see what sticks. But ultimately try to develop these guys too. So I don't care. I don't care if he changes the lineup. If he does, I respect his decision. Like I said, I so far have a good deal of respect for Fizdale as a coach based off what he's shown. So I'm willing to defer to whatever he thinks is best. And I think maybe a lineup change could be good for them because things seem to have stagnated a little bit. I honestly didn't get to see the game against the Raptors on Saturday.
Oh, you didn't miss anything. They got stopped. I mean, the best team in the East.
So I know they got smacked in that game too. So I mean, it's like 2 games they just got smacked, in the row, and it's like
Yeah.
Maybe now it's time for a change. I certainly wouldn't fault him for it.
Yeah, and that's why I say, Frank could have just used a mental night off because, like I said, it's back to back. I mean, it's probably now 4 or 5 games now, and you haven't seen much out of his offense, and not even just his own game, but just getting the team together. This is why we're last in assists in this league. But we'll see what happens, man. Shout out everybody in the chat. Sunday night, tough loss. We're going to get to Q on the phones, but real quick, shout out to the chat. Logan Frame, Keith Sinclair, NYG31. See if the Giants can get a win tomorrow night. Probably not. Godzinga's team, Delano Steele, what's going on? Alex Collins, all the way from Ireland, patrolling the chat. Shout out Alex. Darnell, Quiet Money, Almost Zen. What's going on, everybody? No Jay Ellis tonight. Jay Ellis is it's his birthday, man. So I guess he wanted to, do other things. So we wish Jay Ellis a happy birthday, and we'll get him back on Wednesday. We got my guy Alex Wolf from Posting and Toasting joining us. And yeah, man, let's go to the phones, Al. Let's go to Q. Q from Brooklyn wants to talk about Timmy, and he wants to talk about Frank. And Q's been a Frank guy, man. Q, what's going on, man? There's been a couple of games we haven't been seeing much from your guy, man. What's going on?
What's good, fellas?
How you feeling tonight?
Yeah,
Q?
man. It's just tough, man. I'm still getting over that Chicago loss, and it's like I can't even breathe, man. It's like, see, down here, when you live in Dallas, first of all, you got to deal with you're a Giants fan, so the Cowboys just kill you.
Cowboy fans.
And then you got to deal with. Oh my God! It's the ones that live in New York, the Cowboy fans. I hate those.
Oh,
guys.
they're the worst. I got a ton of those out here, man.
They're the worst, man.
They're the worst.
Those New Jersey, New York Cowboy fans. But the bad part is when the Knicks lose, I get a galore of text messages saying, "Yo, what's wrong with your boys? What's wrong with Frank?" And I look at it like this: Fizz did a little bit of Hornacek last this game. He looked at Frank and was like, "Nah, it ain't your night." So he just sat him down. It's tough because I see all the tools with Frank, man. I see everything with him. It's just he's a Euro player. He's going to play smart. He's going to make good passes. He's not going to be aggressive. And I think everybody wants this Steve Francis, Westbrook type of player that you're not going to get that from Frank. And with all the firepower we have, we probably won't need a point guard that is aggressive. We need a guy that's going to distribute and a guy that's going to make guys better. Frank just needs to focus on defense, man. Just stay with your defense.
Yeah, but now. I mean, I think the question is, Q is
get back to your thing.
The question is, who's going to play point guard? That's the problem.
Well, that's the deal.
Yes, his defense is good, but we're getting absolutely nothing from him on the offensive end. He doesn't have to be a killer like Stevie Franchise or Westbrook, but at least getting the guys involved.
At least get something. Yeah, and that means you're going to have to wait for them to develop. I know every Knicks fan doesn't want to wait. They don't want to wait. Neither do I, because I'd be pissed at Frank. Like, yo, dude, take it to the rack. So it's tough because being a long-time Knicks fan, you expect a point guard to be tough. Remember when Chris Childs was doing it? He came out of nowhere, and we were loving that guy. Two-piece Kobe. Everything that you love about a point guard. You know what I mean? Everything Childs, you love. And Frank is the opposite, man. And when it comes to Timmy, man, to be honest, he shot us out that game. The first quarter, Timmy was just jacking up shots trying to get us back in. But remember, this team comes back with stops. And we couldn't get stops because every time we came back down after a stop, Timmy jacked it up. And that's poor leadership on Timmy's part. So I don't want to see that from Timmy no more this year.
Yeah, and Al, I mean, the thing with Timmy, Al, is like he tries to boil the ocean. Whenever we get down too much, he tries to come back 2 seconds into the shot clock, 1-on-5. He's pulling up a 30-footer, trying to win the game. Obviously, he takes that leadership thing, to heart. But the shot selection just wasn't there for Timmy tonight. He didn't play well at all.
It was horrible. I don't want to see that from Timmy because it reminds me of Stark. when Stark
Yeah.
shot us out of that game 5. Oh, I can't see that no more.
Al, go ahead. Al, go ahead on Timmy, man. What was your take on Timmy?
I just think when Tim sees a situation like the beginning of tonight's game where we couldn't buy a bucket for the first couple minutes, he just takes it upon himself to be like, oh, I got to be the guy that's got to hit that first one, get us into this game, whatever. Like, just because that's the role that he's been asked to play so far this year, and so far he's done pretty good with it. So I'm not willing to really like throw him under the bus totally for this game. Like, his shot selection could have been better, but I feel where he was probably coming from, like what place he was at mentally, of like, it's up to me to make sure that this team gets a bucket right now so we can get off this over streak to start the game. It is rough. It's a tough balance he has to strike right now because that's not really the type of player he should be, but it's just the role he's being asked to play right now. It's tough, I mean, he's in a tough spot. I think he's been doing well overall, but tonight definitely it was rough. He looked more like a worse version of his best self tonight. It wasn't very good.
Yeah, he was Timmy Starks tonight.
Timmy Starks was out
he was
tonight.
Definitely Timmy
Starks,
Starks.
man.
Starks,
Full force. Q, appreciate you, Q, man. We'll have better days, man. Hopefully Wednesday night we bounce back, man. Don't worry about it.
We will. Keep me on check, man. Peace.
All right, man. Appreciate you, Q, man. Q's going through it down there in Dallas, man. That's rough. This is rough, man.
I'm sure it's rough for a New York sports fan down there, man.
Yeah. Like I said, man, dealing with the Dallas fans out here is annoying as hell too, man. Them damn Dallas fans.
Yeah.
Tough being a Jet fan and a Knicks fan today, Al. You went to the Jet game. Jet game was over. Terrible, man.
Yeah, it was not a great day for me today. Not a lot of cumulative points scored between those two teams.
Yeah, it was rough. It was rough, man. Yeah, I mean, listen, I see a lot of people in the chat. Shout out to everybody in the chat, first and foremost. I see a lot of people in the chat saying we're a young team, we're a youngest team. Listen, the losing is fine if you're going to show up. There's no reason not to show up. This is a team, Al, that's in our bracket of tank. You know what I mean? They are in the tank bracket with us. They're equally as young. I don't know what their average age is compared to ours. This is not Golden State. This is not the Celtics. You know what I mean? So there's no excuse. I'm not going to make that youngest team excuse. If they lost by 5, I would say, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. On top of it, they were missing their best player tonight, too. Arguably.
Yeah, they're missing Aaron Gordon. They're missing Aaron Gordon, and they still wipe the floor up with us in the Garden, man. It's atrocious.
Yeah, it was not a great look tonight, for sure. I mean, it's second game back-to-back. That's tough. I get that. But it was a rough game tonight. There are very few bright spots tonight other than, Robinson and, Knox a little bit. But other than that, not a lot to be encouraged by tonight.
Yeah.
It was pretty ugly.
Yeah, let's talk about that positive, man. Money Mitch, 9 block shots, maybe 8. You said they might not count one of them. But Money Mitch with 9 block shots.
I'll admit to, I was trying my best to pay all the way attention through this whole game, but it was tough. And I missed
turned
one
off
or two.
in the fourth. Yeah.
I guess one or two of them was a little controversial. They weren't. There was one in particular that they said might get swiped away from the stat total. Either way, 8 blocks though, which is the Knicks rookie record. So
beautiful play by Money Mitch out there, man. He even caught an alley. We even threw him an alley for once off the pick and roll. ISO found him. So that was nice. It was nice to see Mitch. He caught those 2 ticky-tack fouls in the early game. But he comes back, 9 block shots. I mean, to see him block a jump shot straight up, I haven't seen too many players do that on a consistent basis. I mean, that is crazy.
If we were talking WWE wrestling, that's his finishing move, man.
Yeah,
the block in
that's his signature move, man.
It's his signature. He does that so often now. And we saw it during Summer League, and we're like, oh, that's cool in Summer League, whatever. Who knows if he's gonna be able to do that in the big leagues? And he does it it feels like once a game now, man.
Yeah,
once every other game, he's hitting one of those closeout 3-point blocks. It's insane.
But I don't even remember Mutombo doing that. Mutombo is always a rim protector, but getting out on the perimeter blocking shots, that's crazy, man.
when I love listening to Clyde talk sometimes when he talks about certain aspects of the game, and he talked about something today that I kind of noticed before, but I was glad to get kind of like reassured on that the way Mitch blocks shots is actually really good too. He doesn't go for swats all the time.
Yeah.
He actually tries to control his blocks.
Yeah.
And he's a really good shot blocker for that. You know what I mean? Like he'll block it, but he'll try to either corral it himself or tap it to one of his teammates essentially instead of trying to put it in the fourth row. Which is nice.
Yeah.
It doesn't look as fancy, but it gets the job done a lot better and creates a lot more opportunities for the team. So
yeah, that's a fact. And always watching these games, and I watch every game. You watch every game. Even in the past, that's always something that Clyde would knock, or any type of shot blocking. When a guy try to make a highlight play and throw it into the stands, Clyde would always knock him, be like, "Why don't you just keep it in bounds?" And yeah, I heard that too when he gave credit to Money Mitch tonight, because Mitch does have that knack of keeping it in bounds and initiating the break. So that was good stuff, man. Yeah, definitely good stuff. Yeah, Mitch was a highlight. Kevin Knox bounced back. Kevin Knox with a decent game. Yeah, some of it wasn't trash time, but Knox bounced back for a pretty good game. 17 points, 3 rebounds tonight. Another 4 of 11 shooting. So yeah, good to see Knox kind of getting his confidence up a little bit.
He had a nasty putback in third quarter, fourth quarter.
Third quarter, Mo
tight.
Bamba. Yeah, you got it over Mo Bamba and bashed it on him. So that
was cool.
Yeah.
He he hit a couple shots. He got what, 2 3-pointers tonight, 2 of 6. Okay. It's nice to see him finding his range. That's good. It certainly, like they've talked about getting him some catch and shoot opportunities, and that's like going to be part of his role in the offense. So
yeah,
it's good to see him kind of find his range from 3. He hit one that was like from halfway, half court, it felt like, and it seemed like he was kind of feeling himself right there, but it went in, so you can't really fault him. It was a good shot.
Facts.
And yeah, I liked how he played tonight. He seemed like he was. Even though the game was out of hand, he was still giving it his all, and he looked like he was trying to earn his spot, earn his minutes back.
Trying to get back out
which
there.
is, yeah, and it was refreshing to see somebody fighting for something tonight. On a night when everybody else looked so apathetic about everything once it got out of hand.
Yeah.
So it was good. He was a bright spot for that.
Well, I mean, at this point, if he's gonna get back into the starting rotation, I guess it's going to come at the expense of Dotson, right? I mean, I don't think they go to him at the 4 just yet. I mean, anything's possible, but I'm not sure. I mean, it might be back at the 3.
Yeah, it depends on matchups, obviously. They might try to run him out there at the 4 for very limited stretches, but, he's not big enough to handle that yet. Against most teams, against most lineups, you know what I mean? He can't handle banging down low.
Facts.
So he'll probably come in at 3. Yeah, it might come at Dotson's expense. It might, I guess. Or potentially, maybe cut in Timmy's minutes a little bit. Maybe try to cut his workload down a little bit. Move Dotson up to the 2 sometimes. I don't know exactly what they're going to do as far as that goes, but it's probably going to come at the expense of Dotson. And that's not a bad thing. Dotson plays really well and stuff, but ultimately, like, I think he got a little more invested in Knox, and I think Knox's ceiling is probably higher. So it's best to try to start unlocking that with Knox.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. And Dotson did kind of come on strong. He had 13 straight games in double figures. He's kind of cooled off a little bit. Although I thought his defense, you didn't see the Toronto game, but I thought he played fairly decent defense against Kawhi Leonard. So we'll see. We'll see what Dotson gives us down the road and how Knox impacts that. We're gonna get back to the phones. Let's go to Brooklyn. Marlin from Brooklyn thinks Canner should be starting. Back to the Canner talk. What's going on, Marlin?
What's going on, CP? It's quiet money, man. Like, ain't you really know me by my government?
Oh, you gave Dave your government? You should have just sold him his quiet money, man.
Yeah, I gave him my government like a fool.
Knicks fan TV Dave scared him into giving him his real name, man. Nah, man, it's good.
It's all good. But yo, man, listen, man. Look, as you know, I'm a big Burke supporter. And I'm a big Burke supporter. Why? Because he actually shows me, basketball skills that he can apply to the court. Like, all right, the mid-range game, they don't want to do the mid-range thing, but, I feel like if you got a player and he shoots a high percentage anywhere in the court, let him shoot the high percentage shot. What's wrong with getting a high percentage shoot? I think it's better than breaking threes and not, and I'm saying get turnovers trying to do other things that you can't do. So I'm a little upset with that. Two, I like Mr. Robinson. He got a high ceiling. I'm all for it, but he shouldn't be starting right now.
Why? How come?
He should not be starting over Cannon. I know Cannon.
I said, how come?
Yeah, I know Cannon has his defensive life. You know what I'm saying? His defensive shortcomings. But one thing you know about Cannon, he gets down low, he's gonna pretty much score and he's gonna rebound. Mr. Robinson, he's raw. He's talented, but he's raw. He has lapses like he's not really doing anything in the game. But it's all good. But I just think Burke should start. I think he earned that starting job from last season. Fizdale came in. I guess he's a magician too because he's just gonna, make Moody a starter now, or get some use out of him. We all know Moody is trash. We know he's trash. You had a starting spot. You had a starting spot in Denver. When he first came to the Knicks, you had a starting spot. They gave it to him. When they traded for Moody, he started almost immediately.
Yeah, that's a fact.
I wasn't
feeling that.
He's trash. The dude is trash.
I wouldn't be surprised if he gets a starting slot down the road. I wouldn't be surprised at it the way this coach is doing.
I'll be surprised too. But he should have it, man. He should have it. Our pace of play was one of the tops in the league. Now we like one of the last. What happened? How did the pace of play go from one of the the fastest to one of the slowest?
Al, you put that. Who do you put that on? You put that on Frank?
Fitz got a lot of answering to do, man. Huh?
I was asking Alex Wolf. What do you put that on? Do you put that on? Injecting Frank into the lineup, taking Trey out, or what do you think?
Yeah, some of the pace of play stuff. I think Frank needs to look to push it a little more, and because Frank always wants to set up a play. He that's just kind of how he operates. I think so. That's part of it. I don't know. It's hard to put your finger on what exactly is causing it. They might be making a concerted effort to run more plays to try to install an offense. Mm-hmm. I think maybe that's part of it. They tried to scale down certain things, but I don't know why. They were so good in transition in the first couple games that I don't know why you would want to hinder that. So I don't know. It's strange. I think Frank needs to look to push the pace more though when he has the ball for sure, and that is definitely something that needs to happen. And then. That I don't know if I could quite put my finger on what exactly is doing it. Other than that, they certainly they have been tossing it to Canner a lot in the post on offense, and that's certainly not a fast form of offense. That's very much like the epitome of slow it down offense. That might have something to do with it as well. He's been doing a lot of post ups the last few games, and they've been going to him a lot in that regard.
Facts.
Yo, quiet man. Appreciate the call, bro.
Wait, I got one more question.
Okay,
one more question.
Yeah, go ahead.
And this one from Post and the Toaster.
Mm-hmm.
All honesty and please be honest as you can. Do you really think that Frank's an NBA player?
Do I really think that who's a player?
Frank. I think you said that you think Frank is an NBA player.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
I don't think.
I think we losing you, bro. Yeah, he dropped. Yo,
it's all good. I'm still here.
Oh, I got you. Okay. Yeah, what were you saying now?
I'm still here, man. I just want that question answered. Be honest. You too. Be honest, man. Do you really think that Frank's an NBA player?
Do I think he's he's an NBA player?
I think you could pull anybody from anywhere. Have him do what Frank doing. He's not a lockdown defender. I wish you would stop saying.
He's better than what we have on the team. Put it that way. I wouldn't say he's a lockdown, but he's better than what we have on the team. And appreciate the call, my guy.
But people say that.
Here's what I'd say.
Go ahead.
Here's what I'd say to answer that question. I think I got a interesting answer for that question. Here's what I'd say. I think you have to try to develop Frank into something greater than what his floor is. I think no matter what, Frank can bottom out as a 3-and-D guy. If he never gets better at anything else, like ball handling wise, point guard wise, you can literally just be like, okay, you are going to be a 3-point shooter, and that's all that we're going to drill you in. And you're going to be a 3-point guy, and you're going to defend the other team's best player. That's period. And he can find a role as that. I think the thing that the Knicks are doing now is trying to turn him into something more than that, because he's shown flashes that he can be more than that. He's shown flashes that he can score in a multitude of ways. He's shown that he can run pick and roll sometimes. He's shown really good passing vision at times as well. So you're trying to develop him into a complete player, but unfortunately it's like when you're trying to do that, there's so many more steps that go into it, and there's so much more trial and error, trying to get his skills right, trying to get his head where it needs to be, trying to drill out of him that European style play where he's so unselfish all the time. That it's a real process, but like physically his tools are there. Defensively, he's already amazing, honestly. Like he has a little room to grow, but he's really, really good as far as a defender already. So that's basically my answer to that. I think no matter what, he's going to be an NBA player for his whole career. He's definitely a guy that could play into his 30s or whatever until, whenever. It's just a matter.
You could always use defenders in this league.
Yeah, for sure. Like, look at Andre Robertson. I mean, that dude is like that dude is like the bottom you could potentially see Frank becoming. A guy that strictly can defend people, but like can't throw the ball in the ocean. But he's so good at defending that he's worth putting out there.
True indeed. And we're going to get back to the phones. We got Oliver on the line waiting. We're going to get to Oliver on the line. Shout out to everybody in the chat once again. This is Post Game Live, Sunday night Knicks. Knicks get stomped out at home by 30 if you're just tuning in. If this is your first time in the chat, give me a hashtag new and where you checking in from so we can salute you in the chat. Give me a hashtag new. And leave a comment in the chat with hashtag new and where you watching from. If you're a vet, give me a hashtag vet as well, so we could definitely salute the vets here on Veterans Day. I see some questions in the chat form as well, so salute Alex Collins for getting that out, and we're gonna get to those as well. SS Television says the whole Knicks roster belongs in the G League. Oh man. Rick War 82 was he was agreeing with your comment on Frank. Alex Wolf, actually. Chris Foster says Frank belongs in the G League. Joey Yu says we need to be tanking for Zion. I mean, honestly, I don't even think we're gonna be. I don't know. There's a lot worse teams than us though, Al, right now. I mean, yeah. There are a lot of bad teams out there, man. I don't even know if we're gonna make it that far.
Yeah, luckily the lotto odds are changing this year. So even if we're not a top 3 team now, we still have a better shot at getting the top pick. So I think realistically the Knicks could finish bottom 5-6 pretty easily. And if some bad breaks go our way, then maybe even worse than that. But hopefully not too much worse than that. I don't want to be like a bottom 3 team. That's just miserable. Like the fact of the matter is that we can take advantage of these new odds this year, and no matter what, if the odds are in your favor, they are. If they're not, they're not. You know what I mean? Teams constantly be jumping from like the 8th lotto odds up to the top pick and crap like that. So
true.
I'm not, I don't necessarily want to be so bad. Like if we're really trying to lure a free agent next year, showing like, for most of the year without Porzingis, we were only good enough with this core to be the second worst team in the league. That doesn't look good to anybody. Yeah. You know what I mean? That this really doesn't look good on the Knicks. True. So I'd rather be like 5th, 6th, whatever.
5th, 6th worst than top worst, right? Oh, that was interesting, man. Yeah. All I know is this dude Zion is he's looking beastly out there, man. He's looking beastly.
Oh, he's legit. It looks like a pretty deep top of the class, thankfully. Yeah. Again, so the 3 kids from Duke are all dynamite. There's
I gotta check this kid Little. I gotta check Little from UNC. Mm-hmm. I haven't seen him yet.
Yeah, Little I heard's good. Langford from Indiana. This dude, oh god, I'm gonna butcher his name. I haven't looked up how to pronounce it yet. It's like Sekou Doumbia,
Mm-hmm.
I believe, from France. He's like a rangy.
Nah, don't say that to the chat, man. We already trying to get through one Frenchman, man. I don't know, man. The chat is not gonna be feeling another Frenchman, man.
Built kind of like Frank, but more like a forward, and he's more of a natural scorer. So that should.
Right. I don't know if he sold the chat on that one, man. I don't know. Somebody in the chat tell me about this kid Sekou, man. Is he the truth or what, man? Is he the truth or what, man? Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. Let me shout out some of the new people in here. Let me get to it. Sometimes the chat goes so fast I can't see it. Shout out to Vic Corbett, says he's a vet. Salute to Vic on this Veterans Day. Kendall Baquero says he's new-ish. Well, then you're not new. Rick War 82, new from Charlotte. Shout out Rick. Craig Williams, new. Shout out Craig. Adrell Patrick. Jaron Gant. What's going on? Jaron Gant. Okay. It sounds kind of like Jerry and Grant. I don't know if that's a Jerry and Grant.
It's a burner.
It's a burner account for Jerry and Grant, who was tight. Jerry and Grant came and he buried like 3-3-pointers on us, man. That's how bad it got tonight.
Just came in and cooked us.
Came in and cooked us, bro.
Too.
Now he's roasting us in the chat. Gary Singh says he's a vet. Shout out Gary Singh. 17. We got somebody in New Zealand checking in from New Zealand. So shout out New Zealand down under. Messiah 79 says he's a vet. Shout out Messiah. And,
what time is it in New Zealand? It's got to be like
Zealand?
10 a.m. over there, right?
Yeah, 17 if you're watching. What time is it in New Zealand right now? It has to be sometime in the afternoon or something, you know? Jamal Simpson. Shout out Jamal Simpson. He's a vet as well. Shout out Jamal. What are you saying, Alex?
I was going to say that's dedication, man. Popping on when you're like halfway across the world.
Yeah, man. We've been getting a lot of those, man. New Zealand. We got people from Japan. We got people from we got Alex Collins every night. Alex Collins is in the chat. He's supporting the channel. Biggest supporter on the channel, man. I got to give Alex Collins a round of applause, man. Because he's...
Dude, yeah, yo. Alex is always on Twitter and stuff, too, man. I see him all the time.
Yeah.
And it's like a 6-hour difference going forward for him.
Facts.
So right now, it's like really early.
Yeah, that man's he's dedicated, man. He's dedicated. Let's go back to the phones. Oliver from Miami checking in. What's going on, Oliver?
Hey, how you guys doing?
How you doing, man? You sound like you didn't like this game, man. What happened, man? How you doing?
I don't know, man. I just want to ask you this, guys.
Yeah.
Like, it's the same thing I noticed, the same effort I noticed from Fizdale in the game versus Miami, against Miami, and today it's like he's not running any offensive setups, plays, and I don't know, man. I don't like the minutes distribution that he's providing to the guys, but sometimes he wouldn't let a few of the guys get hot, you know? And why is he giving these trash minutes to Knox? Just throw him in the fire and leaving Mario in the game just like that. Just substitute with Knox. And just because of the fact that Mitchell had 2 fouls, I think, early in the first, why wouldn't you just, let him play, man? I don't know. I think I'm not gonna give it to put it on Fizdale, but he practically lost the balance early in the game with the substitutions, and I don't know, man.
What do you think? Go ahead, weigh in.
I mean, at least as it pertains to Mitch, like with the 2 fouls early, that's just kind of conventional basketball wisdom. You know what I mean? That's just like part of the playbook. Like, guy gets 2 fouls early, you got to pull him because you want to save him for later. And obviously today it worked out. I mean, I thought Mitch got some quality minutes today, so I didn't really have any issue with how they handled that. Today, for all the faults of this game, this is probably one of Mitch's best games so far. With the 8 or 9 blocks, whatever it ends up being. But I don't know. I mean, I could feel what he's saying though in some regard, like with why you pull in certain the younger guys and not playing them as much. Like, let me look at the minute count. Seems like Dotson didn't play. Dotson played 21 tonight, you know what I mean? So that's a little low for him lately, but it's at the expense of Knox. Like, but Hazonia played 27 minutes, and he was just so today.
He's always so.
He didn't seem like really. Yeah, like more so than normal. I don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
the minutes did seem a little strange today, but like in blowouts, it's always strange. That's the time to experiment. So I kind of feel where Fizdale was coming from
Yeah.
as far as experimenting today, because of all times when you're getting blown out by 30 points, that's the time to try something out. So
True. True indeed, man.
yeah.
True. I mean, I agree with your point. It's just the fact that he led the game, get lost too early, man. He just gave it up. I don't know.
Well, I think Oliver, I think that's
Should've
on the
made a
players,
decent
man. I
effort.
think the players just suck tonight. Just to keep it 100. Just keep playing it
Yeah,
simple. I
but they
think the
were playing
players
like
suck.
freestyle. You need
Well, Al,
Right,
on
right. Well, you need
the
to
on the
command,
offensive point, Al, on the offensive point, right? And this is Oliver's not the first person to ask what the offense is that they're out there running, but obviously we've seen the double pin downs, we see the dribble handoffs that are now getting stolen at record pace. But it seems like Fizdale was asked about his out of bounds plays, and Fizdale was saying, we try to keep it simple because these guys they don't have the chemistry yet. So do you think, Al? Do you think that's why we haven't really seen any sort of creativity on the offensive end? You think Fizdale is really just trying to keep it simple, 1 or 2 plays here or there to try to just get us some chemistry going?
Yeah, it's funny. I was on the Locked On Knicks podcast the other day. We talked about something similar to this, and it's like, I think that you have to consider that we had not just not just a new head coach first off, but also a ton of roster turnover going into this year. So you had how many carryovers from last year? Like 4. It was not a lot. We don't have a lot of carryovers on this roster that spent like all of last year here. So there's like a huge learning curve, I think. So I kind of understand with Fizdale with the not installing anything too crazy yet. However, they are going to have to start, diversifying soon, because like you said, that these plays seem like they're all telegraphed. You know what I mean? It's like other teams have a book on us now after a month's worth of games, or almost a month's worth of games. They kind of had the book on us, and they're starting to identify these handoffs, these pin downs, that sort of thing, and they got to start mixing things up a little more if they want to continue to see success here. And I think if we get past maybe the Christmas game and there's not more of a an intricate offense starting to take shape, then maybe it's time to worry a little bit about Fizdale and his like play calling. I'm willing to
right.
Yeah, I'm willing to still give him the benefit of the doubt for now, though.
I hear that. All right, Alvin, man. Appreciate the call, man.
Yeah, I agree.
Hang in there, man.
All right, guys. Keep doing a great job.
All right, thanks, man.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Maybe with all this offensive stagnation, we need to just bring Melo back.
Yeah, he's not to be a free agent again, so yeah, why not?
My boy Melo can't catch a break out here. Now he's a scapegoat for the Rockets. Didn't he just drop 30 on the Nets?
Yeah, about what, like 28 points, something like that.
I don't know what's going on with the Rockets, man. They lost something, man. And what's so funny is like to see that he's about to get waived, and you have his best friend CP3, and you got James Harden, who he's also cool with. I mean, if you're the GM of the Rockets, you have to go to them like, yo, I'm about to make this move. I mean, I don't know, man. Something is just fishy over there, man. Something is fishy over there.
CP3's looking a little cooked this year too. It's kind of weird, right?
Like, I mean, CP3 did his days, man. CP3 got a lot of mileage on them tires, man. So I always wanted CP3 to get a ring, man, but I don't know. I thought last year was their best chance. They had the champs down. They couldn't they couldn't seal the deal, man. All right, we got Worldwide West on the line. We got Philippe. We got Jaron. We're gonna get to them real quick. Let me announce the Statement Games winners. So tonight's Statement Games, we have 3 winners. 3 winners are gonna go home with a $10 gift card to the NBA store. And shout out Nick Reyes and the Statement Games guys as well. Let me see. The 3 winners are BXPRJ, Rosa, and Dr. Free John. Those are 3 winners tonight. 3 winners going home with a $10 gift card to the NBA store. It's courtesy of Statement Games, Knicks Post-Game Live. So congrats to those 3. We're going to be playing for some more premium prizes later this month as well. I think I got a couple hats that I'm going to be putting up for grabs, and that's courtesy of my guy Shells Heavy. So for those of you that didn't win tonight, you'll have another chance later this month to win, and that's courtesy of Statement Games. Courtesy of Statement Games. All right, Alice, let's go back to the phones. My guy, Worldwide Wes, he wants to talk about the draft and the Knicks point guards. Wes, what's going on, man?
What's going on, fellas?
How you doing,
Good
bro?
to speak with y'all.
Pleasure, man. Pleasure.
You already, man. All Knicks fans, keep your heads held up high. You know, I mean, this, in my opinion, as I stated before the season started, this is expected. Everybody keeps projecting 30 wins, 25.
I know.
Maybe
I
we
did.
sneak into the playoffs. That was absurd, those predictions, because our starting squad is pretty much the same starting squad that we had in Summer League. We were 3-5 in Summer League against Summer League rosters. Now we're playing against a real team. So I don't understand why people expected us to win. We're doing exactly what we.
Well, me personally, and now I'm not going to speak for you, but me personally, Wes, to me, I don't care if they win or lose. You know, I don't care if they win or lose, but I want to be competitive. And this is a team, this is a Magic team that's without their best player, and who, even with their best player, is in the same category as the Knicks. I mean, they got, a couple more wins as us. They right in the bottom of the barrel as us. Without their best player, we coming off a terrible loss in Toronto. I just want to see better effort, man. That's all. Better effort and better energy. And it just wasn't to be seen tonight.
Okay, you're right. And I think the reason because of that.
That's how you feel, right, Al?
I don't think.
Yeah, that's how I feel.
Go ahead, Wes.
Yeah, I don't think the reason is necessarily because of Frank. Now, I know he hasn't been as aggressive as he should have the past couple of games, and I'm harder than a lot of people on. When I make a comment, people think I don't like Frank, when in actuality I do. But we can criticize our own players. We can't just blindly support these players and not hold them accountable. So, to me, there is absolutely no logic behind why Frank didn't play today if he was not injured, right? The whole team sucked, as you stated before I called. The entire team sucked. There was no effort from top to bottom. There's 0% chance that Moutier or Trey Burke is going to be on this team next year. I'm going to repeat that. There's 0% chance that either one is going to be on this roster next year.
Al, you disagree? What do you think? You think it's 0? What do you think the chances? Who do you think's more likely to come back, Al? Trigger or Moutier?
0.
I'm not willing to call
Trey
it 0.
Burke,
I don't think it's like super likely. I think if one or the other would come back, it would probably be Burke.
I think it'd be Trey. Because I think you can get him on a cheaper deal as well.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you why there's 0% chance. Because we're going to go after a marquee point guard in free agency, whether it be Kemba, whether it be Kyrie, whether it be Terry Rozier. We're going to sign a point guard to be our starting point guard. It's not going to be on our roster. And then Frank is going to be our backup point guard. And then they're going to get a veteran to be the bench guy, you know what I mean, behind those two in case of an injury. And, I mean, that might be Burke. There's a chance that might be Burke, but I strongly doubt it. You know, any way you look at it, Frank's going to be our backup, definitely be on the roster next year. So you got to get him as much as minutes as possible. And you can't keep making him the scapegoat when the team plays bad. He can't be the only guy held accountable when the entire team was playing bad. He can't be the only guy getting restricted for minutes when the entire team was playing bad. There's no logic behind that. I don't accept it because everybody played bad, and he only had 6 minutes to show anything. And then
but Wes, the
expectations,
expectations at the point guard is much different, though, Wes. You know that, though. That's the whole thing with Frank. He's just not. He's not like everybody else. He's supposed to be the point. He's starting at the point. He's starting at the one, and we're just not getting anything from there.
So what did he do wrong in those 6 minutes he played that warranted for him to be pulled from the game and not brought back? That something that Moutier excelled at so much better, or Trey Burke. What did he do wrong that any other player didn't do this?
Well, I mean, according to the coach, straight from the coach's mouth, he just said his offense wasn't going. I'll pull up the quote from Begley, because Begley I just pulled it up. I'm gonna tell you what Fizz said about Frank and his sitting minutes. He just said he just didn't have it. Basically, is what he said, and that he wanted to give him a change.
He was able to determine that.
Well, I guess he was.
That's I don't
this
buy
is what
that,
he
man.
said. He said the Knicks were struggling. He wanted to see other lineup combinations. He also mentioned that Frank was struggling with his shot, and he was looking for more offense from Trey Burke. That's why you saw Trey play more tonight. You know, that's why you saw him play tonight. I told Alex, I thought Frank could have used a mental night off because I just, this is 4 or 5 games now. Offensively, you're just not getting any type of flow, and he's the point guard. You know what I mean?
I think that's because of the type of offense that we run. Now, as I sit back and watch these games and I'll watch the rerun, we don't have any ability to move the ball and create a flow on offense. And that's why our offense is stagnant. There was a couple times that the ball swings once, it'll swing once, but they won't swing it all the way around the arc. They don't penetrate and then dish back. No player can really develop a rhythm. And when they start to kind of develop a rhythm, unfortunately, many times, either Tim Hardaway is benefiting from this rhythm, he's taking all the shots, or he's killing the rhythm by taking all these terrible shots. And that's what happened tonight. There was no way for the players to really develop a rhythm and get their juices flowing where they're hitting shots, where they're playing loose. And that's when Frank is most effective, and you just leaving him out for 6 minutes in the game. I don't think that's justified. And we were getting killed on defense.
Defensively, we were getting crushed
left and right.
We were getting crushed. I mean, this team is ranked 28th in the league in offense, man. It's terrible. Terrible.
Exactly. So that's really where, so in my opinion, as a coach, because I coach myself, I coach a high school basketball team. If I'm making an assessment, I'm looking at the defensive end to make an adjustment to create a spark, not the offensive end. Even though we were struggling offensively, offense has never been our identity. All right, so our identity is defense, and that's how we get jump-started to get our offense. So you don't sub out the best defensive player because you're not going to put Trey Burke in. He's all of a sudden going to spark us to score all of these points, and it's not going to make up for our defensive deficiencies, which it didn't. But, that's just me being, very critical of the whole situation. I could be wrong. But the other thing I wanted to touch on real briefly was the draft. Mm-hmm. So currently, right now, we are the 4th worst team in the league. We're only behind Phoenix, Cleveland, Washington, and Atlanta. So we're the 5th worst team.
Yeah,
right?
Cleveland is
Washington's going to go on a run.
Roadkill right now, man. I don't think he's going to catch them.
I'm not weak. Listen, the top 3 worst teams in the league have the same exact percentage of getting the first overall pick.
Right.
The odds are changed.
Right.
So we don't need to be the first or second. We could be the 3rd worst team and still finish. And Washington is going to go on a run. They're going to win. They're going to end up winning some games. I even think Cleveland, when Kevin Love comes back, they're going to end up winning a couple of games. And Phoenix has no incentive to tank because they don't have their draft pick this year, even though they're terrible. They're going to get it together. We're going to be in the mix to get a top 3 pick. We're going to be in the mix to get a top 3, top 4 pick, and we definitely need that pick moving forward, whether it be any of those 3 guys on Duke. You know what I mean? Me personally, I'm more of a Barrett, Cam Reddish kind of guy. I like Zion. I like his highlight factor, but I just feel like him as a franchise player, when you banking on strict athleticism, there's only one LeBron. LeBron was the only dude never to lose a step throughout his whole career. Anybody else who was an athletic freak, even look at Blake Griffin. He's not the same Blake that he was 4 years ago. He's only like...
You still there, Wes? I think we lost Wes. Yeah. You still there, right? Al? All right,
I'm still there.
Yeah, I get Wes's point, but listen, with the whole Frank defense thing, I agree with Wes. You got to start building this thing around some good defense, but it's like you also need a balance, right? I think that's the issue. Is like we don't have a good balance right now.
I would certainly say, like, if I were to redo how the substitutions were done today, I probably would have even maybe thrown Frank in there for some of Hezonia's minutes.
Yeah.
That probably would have been my best bet to get him some more minutes. Like, just get him doing something. You know what I mean? Like, even if you're not gonna trust him with running the offense tonight, like if you want to work on that in practice or whatever, don't necessarily have to bench him like outright. Like, you could throw him out there as a wing, basically. Yeah. You know, and at least let him try to get something going there. Kind of like, you know, like with Knox. Like, Knox got it going tonight just because he was out there and he was able to get a few shots up and, you know, he started feeling it a little bit. So, you know, give Frank those opportunities at least, I think.
Facts.
I mean, that's how I look at it, at least, especially when Hezonja wasn't playing that good. You know, it's not like he was lighting it up for you or anything. Nothing was going to make a difference tonight.
Yeah.
So
what's your take on Terry Rozier? His name has been coming up a lot, whether it talks about trade deadline or free agency. What's your take on him? I think Nick Reyes in the chat was asking, would you trade for him? I believe he will be a free agent at the end of the year. Am I right?
Yeah, he will. Restricted, if I'm not mistaken.
Restricted. All right. So what's your take on Scary Terry, man? I don't trust him, but what do you think?
I don't know. I feel like the price tag, be it for a trade or to sign him, is going to be greater than what he's actually worth to you as.
That's what I think.
A starter. You know what I mean? I just feel like it's going to be one of those deals where you look back on it and you're like, ugh. Like, kind of like how some people look at the Tim Hardaway deal. You know what I mean? Of like we got him, but at what cost? You know, it's like he's a good player, but worth that amount of money that we have to pay him just to get him. You know, and that's how I feel like we'd be looking at him very shortly after getting him. You know, we might be excited at first, like, oh, we got a point guard, blah, blah, you know, whatever. But very shortly thereafter, we'd be like, is he really worth like $18 million a year, though?
Right.
You know,
right.
I don't know. I feel like the price tag is not going to be worth the product that he puts out there.
Yeah. Scary thing, man. Scary thing. I feel like he's one of those guys. I feel like he's one of those guys that plays well within a good team. I think like his value is more to a team that's on the cusp. He's basically like Avery Bradley to me, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't think he's a guy that's gonna run your team. But I think on a good team where he plays good defense, he's a pit bull. You know, he could give you I feel like he's more of a backup, to be honest with you. I feel like he's more of a backup. Yeah, he'll have his flashes where he puts up great numbers, but I think he's more so a backup.
Yeah, I would tend to agree with that. Like, I almost wonder if the Celtics will just wind up matching him for whatever just to be Irving's backup if Irving resigns. You know what I mean? Just because
Kyrie on them bum-ass knees, you just don't know, man.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I don't know if your aspiration is to maybe like make the playoffs or whatever, maybe you sign him and maybe he can make you the playoffs. But if your aspiration is like everybody's aspiration, which is to like make finals, win a championship, I don't know if he's necessarily that dude.
Yeah, you know? I'd rather just take my chances in the draft or wait on the guy if he's not here. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather just wait on.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that.
Yeah,
I mean, you could even get, I don't know who, I haven't looked at the point guards for this year, but even like Reddish, I know has some point guard tendencies. You know what I mean? Like I'd almost rather roll the dice on him, see what he's got, try to roll out there with something like that, and you know, rather than pay Rozier a bunch of money, something like that. So it's a scary proposition, not one that I think I would make. But also, I'll say this much: if Scott Perry would do it based off his scouting track record, I'd feel better about it, but I still wouldn't necessarily feel good about it.
Facts. And I'm not trading with Danny Ainge. We're in no position to trade with Danny Ainge. He's in a class above all, and we'll get fleeced. I'm not messing with Danny Ainge, man. Forget that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Forget that.
Yeah. Danny Ainge refuses to make a trade unless he like objectively wins it.
Yeah,
you know
I'm not messing with
like,
Danny Ainge, man. We don't got nothing for him. We can't match wits with Danny Ainge. That's the executive of the century right there. You know what I mean? Player ratings is going to be canceled, Alex Wolf. We're just going to go straight to the calls and questions. No player ratings tonight. The team sucked. Shout out to Money Mitch, though. He was a shining star with 9 blocks. I give Mitch, what do you give Mitch? I give Mitch out of 10, 7 or 8. You got to give Mitch a 7, 8. You know,
I'm giving him an 8. I'm not gonna make the same mistake I made last time and go too high.
Yo, you had people in the chat waiting on your play ratings, man. People in the chat were waiting on you.
Yeah. So I'm gonna give him an 8. because he set the rookie record for the Knicks for blocks in a game. So that's good. That's good by me.
That's it, man. Everybody else sucked. Player ratings are canceled tonight, people. You know, there's no.
I'll give Knox one special shout out. I'll give Knox a 7.
Honorable mention. We'll give him honorable mention. We'll give Kev a 7 and welcome back. Let's go back to the phones. Yeah. Philippe in DC wants to talk about the overall picture of the Knicks. We're gonna go to Philippe and then Jaron is on deck. Philippe, what's going on, man? Yep.
Hey, man, how you doing?
Good, man. How you doing, bro?
Can you hear me?
Yep, loud and clear, man. How you doing?
Yep. Good, very good. Hey, I just want to look at beyond this game because this was just back to back, and you know there's nothing to talk about this game. But I think we need to focus in the future and see how we can become a championship team. And I think this is the most important thing. I feel like in a center position with having Mitch. And having a KP, potentially, you know, he can switch in both positions. And plus, having Canner and knowing there's no other center in the NBA who can be a superstar and give you a championship. I think we need to go ahead and sign KP and definitely sign Canner as well because he can play the position with Mitch just interchangeably, but not to give him like a max deal, you know. If we give him a $50 mil a year, I think that's a great deal. And then sign KP as well. And then the rest of the money, you really have to spend it on the big
$50 mil a year, man.
First, second, and third position.
Oh man, Felipe's opening up the vault for these guys, man. Felipe's opening up the vault.
Man, I'm telling you, I think.
What's that?
I think we need to pay that money for the first, second, and third position because I think we are really locked with just seeing how Mitch plays.
Nah.
We're not going to get rid of Mitch at all. Like he's going to be a great player.
Felipe, I know you're a Cannon guy, but we can't give Cannon that much money, man. I know you're a Cannon fan. No. I know you're a Cannon fan, man.
But you think $50 million is too much for him? Look, he can come off the bench, no problem. $50 million today's NBA is not a big money, man.
15?
People making $30 million a year.
Yeah, can't do it.
15 million.
Can't do it, man. And thanks for
the call.
You think over this too much?
Yeah, too much, man. Too much, Felipe. But thanks for the call, man. We gotta get
to
the
like
other
callers. Being cheap, though, man.
Can't do it, man. Yeah, I couldn't let Felipe go, man. He said 15, not 50. He said 15. 15
is too much.
Too much. Too much.
Too much.
Yeah. Sorry.
First season?
Yeah.
No.
Nah, Felipe, man. Sorry, man. Sorry, Felipe. You couldn't do it, man. Couldn't do it, man.
Finish him.
Couldn't do it, man. All right, let's go to Jaron. Been waiting for a while. Jaron, my bad, man. How you doing, bro?
How you doing, man?
Good. How you feeling, bro?
You can hear me?
Yep, loud and clear, man.
All right. Well, I just really wanted to talk about similar to what the last guy was talking about, you know, what we should do going forward, you know, like, because personally I see, even without KP, I see us as about, you know, like a high 20s, low 30 win team. Personally, think when KP comes back, we may sneak into the upper 30s, low 40s. But, you know, I just wanted your guys' opinion, see what we should, you know, because everybody's saying we should go for a superstar point guard. But personally, I don't think Kyrie comes to New York. I just don't think he does. I don't think Kemba comes to New York. Well, Kemba might, but I don't think Kyrie comes to New York. I think he stays in Boston. So I want to see what you guys thought about
Kyrie. What, the point guard?
About that.
Okay.
Yeah, because I don't think Kyrie. I think Kyrie stays in Boston. So.
Yeah, I mean, Al, what do you think? And Jaron, appreciate the call, man. We're just gonna move to the other callers. Yeah. Al, what do you think? I think Kyrie stays. I think if Kemba had the opportunity, I think he'd come here in a heartbeat. He wants to say that.
Maybe
he wants to say that he doesn't want to think about that, or he wants to stay in Charlotte. Mm-hmm. Who the hell want to stay in Charlotte? You know what I'm saying? I can't see it.
Well, you can come back home.
You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm like, Kemba, you're a good salesman, but I'm not sold, man. Sorry. Sorry, man. I'm
Yeah,
not sorry.
I run into the same thing with Kemba that I do with when we were just talking about Rozier. Like, do you really want to hand Kemba a full max deal? You know, like that's the
No.
thing with him that spooks me a little. You know, it's
Yeah.
like if he's willing to take a little less, then by all means, maybe entertain it. But I don't know that I would even want him if I got to pay the full whatever. His max would probably start at like 35 million or something like that. That is a lot of money for him.
It's
You know, like
a
for
lot
what
to
he
ask for,
offers.
man. It's a lot to offer.
And if that's what it takes to get him away from there, then I don't know that I would want to.
It's a tricky situation, man. Tricky, man. I love Kemba though. I love Kemba, man.
I do too. I like him. I like his game. He was so fun at UConn, whatever.
Yeah.
He's been cool in Charlotte, and he's low, which is cool. It's a great story, but like, all in all, I don't think the cost for him. I think it's gonna wind up being too much.
Given the state of this team and how bad we are and how bad our point guard play is, if we brought Kemba in here, man, you think Knicks fans are delusional now? If we brought Kemba in here and he starts lighting it up with KP on pick and rolls and shit, I mean, you know, listen, we would be a good team. I don't think we would be a great team, but I don't.
It would be
I
at
think
least
Kemba
fun.
would come.
It would be fun.
It would be fun. It would be fun.
Yeah.
It would definitely be fun. Who else we got? Max. Oh, we got Max from the Bronx. Jaron, appreciate the call. Max from the Bronx. Max wants to talk about Fizdale's rotations, and he wants to talk about Cannon. Max, what's going on, man? What happened to your boy Frank tonight, Max? What happened, man?
I guess you need a scapegoat like Carmelo in Houston, so you just take out the quiet guy. Like you were still down 26 after the third. You were still down 26 after the third quarter. So I don't understand. I don't get it. But
your boy needed a break tonight, man.
Let me break.
All right, go ahead.
Let me break this down, man. What is this feels real? And I like him. You know I like him.
Yeah.
Why don't you bench Hardaway? Why don't you bench Hardaway for the shot selection? You know how bad Hardaway's shot selection was today?
Yeah, he tried to play hero ball tonight. He tried to play hero ball tonight. Timmy was bad tonight.
He was playing stupid ball tonight. He was playing dumbass ball tonight. That's what he's playing. Because he was just shooting every time he got the ball. And then you're a coach that prides yourself on defense, right?
Mm-hmm.
Cantor's defense in the first quarter was unbelievably bad.
He's the Matador defense. He is the Matador.
Nobody wants to talk about that.
Literally.
His defense terrible.
His defense
was
atrocious.
Awful.
His defense is atrocious. You know.
Awful. It's like Steve Clifford said. He literally said, he said, run pick and roll every time he's out there.
Yeah.
Every single time see the Turkish one, run pick and roll.
Every time.
Every time. And every time, wide open.
Facts.
Easy. Mismatch. The guy don't know how to switch. You've been playing the NBA for 6 years. You don't know how to switch properly? You don't know how, you get on the small guard and switch back to the big guy? Because you know the big guy is going to abuse the point guard? So what's going on? Like, what's up with that, man? So you're playing Cantor.
Yeah. I mean, listen, the thing with Fizz, he's just going to have an issue with who to play. You know, some of these guys are giving you, Cantor's giving you the offense. He's giving you the bounce. He's terrible on defense. Frank is giving you the defense. He's terrible on offense. You know, you're finding guys on opposite ends of the extreme, Al. There's nobody that kind of meets you in the middle here. You know what I'm saying? That can give you some offense and still give you some decent defense as well.
But here's the thing, right? Cantor is what, 26 years old?
Yeah, 26.
27?
26.
Okay, we know what he is. We know, okay? We understand. That's why they called him Can't Play Cantor when he played for the Thunder, because you can't play the guy. It's hard to play him. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to play him. Frank, you got to give him time. He's going to shoot bad. He's going to be, up and down. That's a young player. Not everybody is, Jordan. Not everybody gets it so fast. You got to let him play. And if you let Moutier play, listen, Moutier's back to Moutier. I know he had a couple good games, maybe like 2 games ago. But I was watching him, right? and I tweeted this. I said, Moutier be Moutier. Moutier had a wide open Kevin Knox at the 3-point line. You know what Moutier thought? Nah, man, that's too easy. Let me drive in the paint with 5 people in there and get an offensive foul.
Crash. Yo, he's the new Crash, man. He's the new. You know how they used to call Gerald Wallace Crash? Moutier's the new Crash, man, in a bad way. You know that's probably disrespect to Gerald Wallace.
I'm a low IQ player who can't think, been in the NBA for like 4 years, still doing the same shit after 4 years or whatever. How many years has it been? 4, 3, I don't know. Yo, the guy's not like good. He's not. The best game Moutier had, he shot 12 shots and got 13 points. What did he do? Who cares? That's not good. It's not good.
Oh God, man! I hear you though, man.
And you got Trigger Trey. You know I can't bring on. Trigger Trey is the master of scoring points when it doesn't matter. He's great at that. He's like top 5 in the world at scoring points when it matters not. Yo, you know Trey fans were on the third quarter like, woo, oh, this is what we need. Yo, we're still down 27. We still can't guard nobody. We can't guard nobody's grandma in the pick and roll. Let my grandma, who's 95, and someone else's grandma run the pick and roll. Cancer still can't figure this shit out. He can't figure it out.
Can't figure it out, man.
Him and Trey, they can't figure it out. But all due aside, games like this happen. Everybody knows this. If you watch NBA all years, it happens.
Even the best teams get washed.
I don't want the. Huh?
I said even the best teams get washed sometimes. It's all good.
Yeah. But my thing is this: please, if you want to be accountable, you want me to start clapping out my couch and all that. Bench Hardaway when he takes a stupid shot 2-3 times.
Yeah, but Fizz said he's not gonna do that though. And appreciate the call, Max.
Yo, he has to.
Yo, listen.
He has to.
He said, and last point, Fizz said, Alex, he said in the beginning when they asked him, how do you plan to hold players accountable? He said he's not gonna bench players for making mistakes. He's gonna bench players more so for lack of effort. That was his main thing. That's what he said. So, you're not gonna see Timmy get yanked for that. Hornacek would do that. But Fizdale said he's not gonna do that.
Yo, CP, I've been missing you and Jay Ellis and all that because these women, man, when they come over, they don't want to watch sports. I can't stand it.
You gotta give them what they want, Max. You gotta give them what they want, man.
No, I don't like that, bro. They're like, oh, you watching Knicks?
It's Sunday too, man. Like, Housewives is on and all that, man. Oh, it's rough.
Yo, no, man, because I be trying to watch the Knicks game. I be watching the Knicks game and try to watch it out after, and like, oh, well, I'm here, so I'm like, okay, well.
Yeah, you got to get a second screen, man. You got to get a second screen, my dude. Well, hopefully Wednesday we'll hit.
Yo, I don't like that because I be want to call up because you know how I feel about your chat, bro.
Yeah, of course, man. Of course, you one of our best callers, man. You definitely one of our best guys, man.
We gotta balance this out, bro, because shoot, man, these women are the most they don't understand nothing, bro.
Nah,
they want to watch what they want to watch and everything.
They sure don't, man. I gotta say that low because my wife is listening. What you say?
Yeah, my bad. I'm talking about my situation.
Man. All right, man. So, I'll get at you Wednesday, man. Try to call in Wednesday. Good luck, though.
All right, have a good one.
All right. Yeah, Al, you're next, man. You're next. You might not be able to catch a Knicks game, man.
I think I already got an arrangement in place. You know what I'm saying?
All right, good. Good.
I told her got priorities set.
Good. Gotta get that get out in front of that ahead of time. All right, we'll close the phones for tonight. And wrap up in a sec. Al, how much time you got? You got another 5 minutes?
Sure. Yeah. Right, whatever you need, bro.
All right, yeah. Now we got a couple questions from the chat. I'll just run through them real quick. Shout out to everybody in the chat, in here watching, supporting. Once again, throw us a thumbs up on the video. Just smash that like button for us. That's the best way to support to support the channel. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. This is the home of the diehard Knicks fan. CP from the Knicks Fan TV. My man Alex Wolf from Posting and Toasting. Filling in for Jay Ellis. Happy birthday, Jay Ellis. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Smith Jr., what's going on, Big Oso? Danny Lander says, can we bring in Starberry? No way. Danny Lander said Jimmer dropped 72 last night. Al?
I don't want to hear about Jimmer. Get Jimmer out of here.
Jimmer's finding a home.
We already tried that.
Yeah, we tried the Jimmer thing. We had the guy John Jenkins dropped the 40 piece up in Westchester. So John Jenkins,
he might be worth a try.
He might be on the Trey Burke watch. He might be on that Trey Burke watch like last year. So yeah, you never know, man. All right, let's take a look at a couple of these chat questions before we wrap up. Real MVP says, how many years until we're back in the playoff race again? I say 2. What do you think, Al?
Yeah,
I say 2.
Are we counting this year?
I'm counting this year.
So yeah, 2, I guess. Then hopefully next year. I think with healthy KP, free agent additions. I think at the very least we can make the playoffs as long as we play it smart over next summer. So,
Facts.
Yeah, next year, next 2 years, I guess we'll call it. Yeah.
Facts. Gary says, thoughts on Phil saying he's considering lineup changes. I mean, I don't have any issues with it. It's already a development tank. He's going to have issues with this lineup, with this roster. We're just not talented. We're young, we're inconsistent, and we're lacking a lot of talent. You know, Fizz is going to have the same issues that Hornacek had in terms of trying to figure out which guys to go with. What do you think, Al?
We touched on it a little bit earlier. Yeah, I mean, I don't have a problem with it. I don't care if you change the lineup every damn game. Just figure out what works. Figure out something. A little consistency is nice, but finding good combinations and finding out what players are for real on this team is the most important thing. So do whatever you want with the lineup as long as it yields results. That's fine by me.
Yeah. Smokestack says, Frank, 0 points. That's all I have to say. Good night. Smokestack goes into the question form.
I mean, I don't.
6 minutes. Tough crowd, man. Tough crowds. My guy Smokestack came in with a comment, not a question. But all right, no doubt. NYK AVL says, what are your thoughts on Fizdale's flaming hypocrisy regarding development? I mean, I don't really see it there. He benched Canner. I don't really see it. Courtney Lee still hasn't played.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd call it hypocrisy. I mean, he has his own style of doing it. Like, I'm assuming this is in response to the Frank benching tonight.
Right.
But, I'm not. Who are we to judge the guy for one game out of
I'm not judging.
Out of an 82 game season? You know what I mean?
I actually agree with that.
So that's the way I look at that.
Benching. Boomer Clyde says, when is Lee coming back? Is it? Yo, I don't. They haven't even told you what his official injury is, yo.
Yeah, I don't know what to think with Lee. Like, I don't know if the injury's legit, if they're kind of fudging it a little and trying to just kind of keep him fresh for a trade or what. I feel like once you hit a certain point, though, clearly if there's no trade market, you got to at least showcase him a little bit and be like, look, this guy can play. So give another month. If they haven't found a trade partner or something in like a month, then he'll probably take the floor, sometime in December.
I mean, it's almost like because we haven't even gotten any official thing, they're like, oh, it's a neck thing. Then it went to his head. It went to his back. It went to, I almost feel like maybe they went to him like, yo, listen, you're not going to get that much playing time. We're going to end up playing, Dots and Knox and them guys. And Courtney Lee might have just been like, yo, just don't play me at all. I don't know. That's probably just wild speculation on my part, but the whole injury thing just seems.
I don't know.
Really
I mean, I will say he's at least like at the games, sitting there chopping it up with KP and whoever else there. So it doesn't seem like he's in a position where he's like a Noah situation.
Right.
Like, just leave me home.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like he's a bad influence though. Still, I don't know. It's a tricky thing.
He seems cool. You know what I mean? I think he might legitimately have been or be injured, but like they're just kind of embellishing it a little bit.
Yeah,
I think.
I don't know. I think that trade is looking less and less likely, though. All right, last question. Stupid Video says, what do you think about Fizz not drawing up plays? I think we touched on it earlier. I think my opinion is, well, I mean, this is coming directly from Fizz in regards to the out-of-bounds plays. He's saying he's trying to simplify things. So I'm thinking if he's trying to do that with those plays, he's, in terms of the offense, I think he's trying to do that as well. We've seen a couple things here and there, but no full-fledged system that you can really point to at the moment.
Mm. Yeah, I kind of what you said, and like I said, we touched on it earlier.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's just he's trying to bring it along slowly, which is the right way to do it when you have a team of all new guys that didn't really know each other before this year, especially some guys that are so young that you're relying on for so much. You know, like Trier, Robinson, Frank, even Vonleh, who's not really all that old. You know, even though he's like a 4-year vet. You know, there's a lot of guys that you're asking a lot out of.
Yeah.
Relative to their age and stuff, so it's good to bring them along easier.
Facts. Agreed. All right, yo, good stuff, Alex Wolf, my guy. Alex Dominica says he's happy that you're back on. He thought you shied away after that 10 for 10 and his Cantor rating. Yeah, that was the butt of all the jokes, man. The chat was cracking up on that, man.
No, it's fine, man. Hey, I was enthusiastic that night. I even said that night I was grading him on a curve because I just wanted to give him a good grade. You know what I mean? It was so nice to play a complete game that day.
Yeah.
He never does that. So.
Nah, I hear you, man. I hear you. All right, I'm gonna throw the theme music on while we wrap up. If you want to get your last words in, some promos, whatever you want, the camera's on you.
Ooh, all right, yeah, sure. Find me on postingandtoasting.com, SB Nation's New York Knicks blog. Find me on the PT Knicks blog Twitter account. I run that Twitter now. Find me on my Twitter at the Alex Wolf. That's pretty much it, man. I don't know. I don't have much to promote. You know, I'm a simple guy.
He's always around, man. He's always around, man. But definitely appreciate you for coming on in short notice. Once again, shout out Jay Ellis, man. Jay Ellis out there celebrating his birthday. So once again, happy birthday, Jay Ellis. Yo, listen, it was a tough loss. Knicks go down 115-89 to the Magic. Terrible. Worst loss of the season, but it is what it is. We got the Thunder on the 14th, Wednesday. Hopefully the Knicks can bounce back. We'll see what happens, man. But definitely shout out everybody that joined us in the chat tonight. Shout out everybody that was watching on Facebook, Periscope. Shout out to you guys, everybody watching on KnicksFilmSchool.com, posting and toasting. Shout out everybody there as well. Young Simba, thanks for coming through. Above the Rim, always appreciate you. Jeremy Maynard, always in here, thank you. Nick Reyes, Dubs Revo was in here early, almost Zen. Alex Collins, thanks a lot for your help. KnicksFanTV Dave on the phones, appreciate you. Rick War 82, thank you. Karen Howard, Cardi Cameron, always in here, appreciate you guys. Robert Morris, he says, Frank leads the team in minutes before playing tonight. He's been the only player to start every game. Him getting benched for one game after making a lazy pass is not going to ruin him. Yeah, I mean, listen, you know, he's bound to have them nights, and you know, I don't blame the coach for subbing him out. Dylan Bove says, what happened to Lance? We missed his offense. Now, we don't miss Lance. Take your time, Lance, and come back. Super Beginner, what's going on? The Gooch, Stafford Don, appreciate you. All right, man. Yo, Alex Wolf, thanks again for coming on, man. And
of course.
Yeah, man.
Anytime.
Yeah, man. Tough night to be a Jets and Knicks fan, but it is what it is, man. You know what I mean? You guys be easy.
It was a day.
Yeah.
Tomorrow's another one.
Tomorrow's another day, man. Tomorrow's another day. So once again, if you guys are watching, just smash that like button. Give us a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And I'll see you guys Wednesday night. Knicks versus Thunder post game. Peace.